Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to part 7 of my living room remodel, and it's the finale. I am finally done. If you have not seen parts 1 through 6, I highly recommend you go back and watch those first before this one. The living room has come such a long way and I'm so proud of myself for finally finishing a project. If you are new here, I am Lisa and I am a wife and mother of 5. And my oldest is graduating high school in about 5 months. And so my mission here on this channel is to finish every little project that I started and did not finish, so that when I have people over for his graduation party, all of these little projects will be done. And in addition to finishing projects, I also have a goal of not starting any new projects until all of these other projects are finished. That is something that is very difficult for me. I love starting things, but finishing is the tough part. So I am on a mission to get all of these little projects finished. Right now, I am working on the crown molding in my living room. The morning that I was filming this part of the video, my husband and I went to Lowe's, Home Depot, and Menards looking for a match for this crown molding that we put up several years ago. And I don't know if they don't make it anymore, if we just couldn't find it. I'm not sure what was going on. I was looking online on the apps too. I could not find a match to this crown molding anywhere. So my plan B was I took down all of the crown molding in the entryway and moved those pieces in here to the living room. And miraculously, they all fit. I had to cut a little bit off, but it was pretty much the same length that I needed, so it worked out perfectly. And I'm just getting these pieces nailed up. This last piece that I'm putting up here on the left, I made a mistake when I was holding it up there measuring, that you'll see here in just a second. I was holding it upside down. So I thought that I was going to be able to make a corner there on the left with that angled piece, but it was upside down. So when I bring it back out here, I realized that I had it upside down, and I just ended up having to cut it flush with the end right there, the corner piece. I just left it flush and put it up there because I did not have enough to go around the corner. So I was trying to think of what I was going to do. And you'll see here in a little bit, I end up buying a crown molding outside corner piece. I'll show you here in a little while, but it worked perfectly and it looks so good. And I'm so happy with the way it turned out. So at this point, I was still a little unsure what I was going to do on the end, the corner there on the left-hand side. So I decided to go ahead and caulk because I knew I had that handy and I knew I could get that done. Our ceilings are not popcorn, but they are textured, and it is rough to spread that caulking on the gap in between the crown molding and the ceiling. But I was getting it done, and a lot of times it was easier just to use a wet rag to smooth it out. But man, what a difference that caulk can make, because I had a lot of gaps, I had a lot of seams, and now that I'm looking at it, I've got everything caulked and painted. It just looks fabulous, and I'm so happy with the way it turned out. So this is where I had just gotten back from the store and I purchased this corner piece. And I have to cut some of the crown molding off. So that's what I'm doing right now with the multi-tool. I think this is what this is called. I'm not really sure. But I just cut this piece off and I am putting the corner piece on, and it is a little bit of a struggle just because of just to make sure that it's flush against the crown molding and flush against the ceiling. And then I struggled a little bit with nailing it in because there's not really a spot to nail it per se. Like the nails don't go all the way through the square parts, and I don't even know if I'm making sense with what I'm talking about, but I was just having a little bit of trouble, and you'll see here in a little bit. Okay, so this definitely works, having this up here. I like the way it looks here on the side. I need to touch up all the paint and everything, but that looks good because I can't do crown right there anyway. So this is good. My problem is right there. So that is the crown that sticks out. I guess I should have gotten a bigger corner. I'm not sure, but so my options are like this with that little piece sticking out, and I will paint that white. Or if I scoot it out to where it's even or even sticks out a little bit more than the crown, that looks good. But then I will have a gap under here, and that's not gonna look good. So I should just do it like that, right? Why is this so hard? Yeah, I guess that's what we're going with. We're just gonna do it like this, and I'll paint that. All right, no one say a thing if you come to my house and notice this. I worked very hard on it. So I finally got it up there and it stayed. It took me so long to get this up there, but I got it. It looks great. And now I'm just covering up all of the nail holes and all of my mistakes, and it looks so good. I'm so happy with it. I'm going to get another one for the entryway because the crown molding in the entryway will have to stop at some point before the stairs. So I am going to get a similar one for over there too because I really like the way this one looks. It really turned out good. So now I'm going to start painting. I'm very excited. It looks so good with all of it, this bright, shiny white trim paint. The paint I'm using is just from Walmart. It's a white door and trim paint. It is a high gloss, so I did get some on the walls, and you can tell the difference between the trim paint and the wall paint. So I did decide to use some tape here so that I could limit the amount that I got on the walls, and I did end up running out of tape, so I ended up having to do some touch up on the walls, but it's fine. It looks so good with it all painted, and you can see some of the seams. I mean, I caulked as best as I could, but you can see some of the seams, but it doesn't matter to me. I think it looks really good. I'm just really happy to have this final step finished in the living room. I'm just so proud to have it done, and it looks fabulous. So I got almost all of my Christmas decorations put away except for this garland and lights above the entertainment center, and I just really like it. I think it's pretty, and I love how the lights twinkle and how they reflect off of the white walls. I just think it looks really pretty. So I'm going to leave this up there for now. I don't know how long I'm going to leave it up there, but we'll just have to see. So I do still need to finish my baseboards here behind this blue dresser, and then over on the left in the living room I do still have some white baseboard that I need to paint blue, but I ran out of blue paint and I haven't been able to get back to Sherwin-Williams and get more blue paint, so I'm just not going to count that towards the living room being finished because I have to do the baseboards in the kitchen too, and so I think I'm just gonna do all the baseboards at the same time once I get the paint. So we're not counting that. I'm still saying the living room is done in this video, and we're just not gonna count the baseboards because I need a win here. I need to finish something, and we're just gonna say it's finished. Okay? Okay. Okay, I am moving on to the wood trim for the clock wall section of the board and batten. And this is the last section that I have to do in the living room as far as the wood trim goes. And I decided to go kind of a different route here. I'm going to stain the pieces first before I install them, or before I even cut them and then install them. I'm not sure if this was necessarily easier, but it did end up just a better functionality of just getting them on there and not getting the stain all over the wall and not having to touch up as much. So I did like doing it this way better, and I do have a couple more sections in the kitchen here that I will be putting the wood trim up, so I think I'm going to do it this way there too. So first I'm just lightly sanding. These wood pieces are pretty smooth, but the edges are really sharp. And I did bump into one of the pieces, like I had already installed it on the board and batten, and I bumped into it and it hurt hitting that edge of that trim. So I decided to go ahead and just sand them just to give them not as sharp of an edge. And then I will go ahead and put the stain on and get them cut and installed. this little section of the wood trim was kind of giving me a hard time here. For some reason, the board and batten here on this little section that kind of jets out was a little bit lower than the board and batten to the left. So when I was putting the wood trim on top, it was not lining up. It was sitting higher. No, wait, it was sitting lower. Sorry, it was sitting lower than the wood pieces that I already had put up. So what I ended up doing was putting a little shim underneath them. It was just some scrap wood that I had left over from a different project. So I just put the little shim underneath there, and that helped out a lot in keeping the wood pieces level. So what I noticed here was that the wood shim that worked so wonderfully at getting the wood pieces level was sticking out just enough so that the second piece that I put on the bottom was not lining up correctly. So I get my wonderful multi-tool out here, and I'm just cutting off a little tiny bit of the wood shim from underneath so that the second piece of trim will lay flush up against the board and batten. So this is not perfect by any means. I mean, I've got to sand it, I've got to wood fill, my pieces don't line up perfectly. I even have a little nail poking through, but I will fix it all and it will look fabulous. I'm not concerned. I'm just going to paint over that nail right there and it's going to look great. Now I'm just doing some touch up on the white walls and we are getting so close to being done. So here are some after shots. I love this wall so much. I love the way the blue and the white and the wood trim look together. I think it just looks so pretty, and I feel like it really sets off this clock and it just looks fabulous. I especially love this shot here with the dresser put back. I just love the crown molding and everything just looks so pretty. And here's some after shots of the whole living room. Yes, I know I still need to finish the baseboards, but we are focusing on the fact that I finished so many little projects around here. I am so proud of myself. And if I can get up and finish these projects, you can too. So as always, thanks for watching.